All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the live cast, the live version of the podcast. Ain't no private. This shit live right now, ladies and gentlemen. We here and we got a new guest today. And some people are gonna be mad, although fuck him. This guest, he's a special guest. He doesn't. Well, I mean, we're all special. Not in that kind of way, not kind of that bullshit. Everyone's special. Everyone's gonna grow up to be the president. We're all special, as in, like, we're all here for a reason. And this guest today, he's kind of an unorthodox guest. He's not our typical TMAU sufferer, but I'll explain. Actually, he'll explain himself. He's got a nice story. He's got a nice channel, and yeah, I mean, let's just get right into it. So introduce yourself, introduce your channel, and we'll go from there, man.
All right, so my name is The Mayhem. I have actually been on YouTube since 2011, but this is my third channel I've ever had. I'm in the military, and I talk about politics. I'm an unorthodox ranter, as he was saying. I don't really follow any kind of formula. I just talk about whatever's on my mind. Come check me out if you want to. Shameless plug.
Nah, shit. I've actually put your channel in the description, so it's all good.
All right. So yeah, but the way this guy found me was because I had a story with TMAU, L-carnitine. You want me to go ahead and tell the story, or?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. So I've actually been using L-carnitine since 2015, and I discovered just last year that there was a pill form of, a liquid form of it. I had been using the pill form before, and I would just sip on it. I would leave it in my car, and every time I go to the gym, I would take a little bit of it. For those of you who don't know, L-carnitine, it's an amino acid that actually is used for cutting. It's used for losing extra weight and getting leaner and having more muscle mass. Well, I would drink this every day, and then one day I showed up to work, and somebody from my leadership, he was like, "Hey, you just eat some fish?" And I was kind of put off by that. I was like, no, I've never eaten fish in the past few years
because I'm not out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I was just like, no, and I'd also been taking fish oil, so I was thinking, okay. Yeah. So initially I thought, okay, yeah, just a fish oil. So I stopped taking fish oil, and then the next day, it was even worse. And I was still taking the L-carnitine, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I had no idea what was going on. And then I went to Walmart after work, and someone said, wow, something really smells like fish. So, before it was people who knew me. Now it was people who didn't know me, and I was just embarrassed. So I did some research, and I found out it was because of the L-carnitine. It was because I was taking so much of it. And when you're taking it in a liquid form, you don't really pay attention to how much you're taking. The recommended dosage is, well, I think it was 1,400 mc, or no, it was 1,400 milligrams. I think the recommended dosage is like 1,100.
Damn. So you were taking like as many as you want. You didn't really like count out or anything like that, because like you said, it was liquid.
It was liquid, yeah. And I also didn't know about the side effects initially. I thought, it's an amino acid. I take whey protein all the time. Whatever. It's not, And then I actually did a lot of research on it, and I found out it's because your body, your intestinal tract has metabolites in it, and L-carnitine can't really be broken down by the metabolites. So it just sits in your body, and in its natural state, it smells like fish. So it's like it has to come out somehow. So it comes out through your skin, it comes out through your breath, your tear ducts.
Yep. Excretion, pretty much.
Yeah. And it's a very, very slow process. And the more you took, the longer it's going to take for it to come out completely. And for a couple weeks, it was really embarrassing, and it took a long time. Luckily, I got to go home on leave for a little bit and get away from work. That was the most embarrassing part about it. By the time I went home from leave, it was completely gone. However, something else happened. I spilled this in my car. I forgot to fasten the lid of it. So it spilled on the bottom of my car, you know, the carpet and some of the seat. And I thought, oh, okay, you know, whatever. It's just gonna, you know, it's just another supplement I spill in my car. I spill a lot of stuff in my car. Well, I came back from leave and I just got hit by this waft of fish odor. And I'm just like, this is terrible. Like, this is absolutely like, I hate fish. So this was absolutely horrible. I went to go take my car to get it detailed. And it was hard to get out. It was a very hard stain to get out. Like it took them like a few treatments to get the smell completely out of my car. So if you use liquid L-carnitine, a tip from me, just make sure you fasten it if you're going to leave it in your car, or at least get it out of your car. Put it somewhere safe, in a cool, warm area that's not like going to be, not too hot, not too cold, because if that stuff leaks anywhere, you're going to smell fish, and it's just a bad way to go. And that's pretty much my story with L-carnitine and TMAU. You there? Are we frozen? Hello? Something must have happened. All right.
I don't know if he's inviting. Are you there still? Hello?
God damn, this shit is so annoying. Yeah, we got two problems. Hold on real quick.
Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, he's having connection issues.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
All right, so. Oh, you can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, man, let me see. Oh, man, let me see this.
I can't.
Okay. All right, what about now? Can you hear me now? No, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Interesting.
Damn, I hate that. I hate this shit so bad.
Let me reconnect.
Okay. I'm gonna need to get something so I can, like for this specific room, because like I'm using the school's Wi-Fi, and as you guys can see, the school's Wi-Fi sucks. Yo, you still there, man?
Boom. Hello?
I don't know if
You can hear me, but I can't hear him.
yeah, I can hear him, but I don't know why he can't hear. I mean, I'm not muted or anything. I don't. Let me. Let me see if he has like a. Let me see if the chat can hear me actually. I'm pretty sure the chat can hear me, but let me just check again.
Hello?
Oh yeah, wait, can you hear me or no? I don't know if you can hear me. Oh man, YouTube, I can't stand this shit. Alright, so they can hear me, but I don't know if Mayhem can hear me.
Settings, microphone. Or we could just.
Well, you hear me? Okay.
I just can't hear you. Like,
Can you hear me now? Shit, I don't know why you can't hear me.
let me turn off
I'm
the
not muted
TV.
here. Yo, can you hear me right now? No, he can't hear me. Oh shit, god damn it. I'm not muted at all though. This is weird. Let me go to the toolbox, see if he's... Hold on. It's fucking weird.
There we go. I fixed it.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Damn, that was... This Google... I mean, I don't think it's my connection, because my connection can... Because I'm in college right now, so it's kind of all messed up and all that.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah. It was on my end, like the settings. It was picking like a different, like I'm looking on my monitor right now.
yeah.
And I didn't have it set to the monitor. Like when we reconnected, it didn't connect to the monitor.
Reconfigure
It
everything.
connected to something else. Yeah.
God
So we're
damn.
good now.
Yeah, we all set now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing the best I can. I'm in college over here. Obviously, college isn't, the best when it comes to connection. You got everybody over here using college connection to jack off or whatever the hell they do. So everything's all messed up. But we're doing our best. But yeah, as you were saying, like you spilled the L-carnitine in your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like, did you finish the story or when I left, or like was it just something else you were about to say?
Well, yeah, I'll sum it up though. Like basically, I left it open. I didn't fasten the top of it. Spilled in my
Yeah.
car. I didn't think anything of it. I went home on leave. When I came back, I got hit with this waft of fish odor. Had to take it to the detailer, and it took about 3 treatments to get it out. So my
Damn.
advice is don't leave it unfastened in your car. Don't leave it unfastened at all, because then you'll get hit with that fish smell. Because that's what it smells like naturally. That's why they have to add like the vanilla or the cherry flavor to it, because otherwise nobody would be drinking it.
They'd be throwing that shit out. They'd be like, fuck
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So that's pretty much my story with the L-carnitine and TMAU.
Yeah, I mean, shit. That's great. I mean, now that I know about the whole L-carnitine shit, I'll definitely, if I see someone drinking that shit, I'll definitely snatch that shit out of their hand and freaking spike that shit to the ground, because I don't want nobody having that bullshit in their life. God damn. But that was pretty much your first encounter with the whole TMAU situation. Like, you don't have it at all. You're not diagnosed with it. You don't have symptoms now or anything like that. But that was your first experience with it. And how was that like going from like your ordinary life to like having that embarrassing situation happen, like just having that happen for, you said, weeks, so pretty much 24 hours a day for a few weeks. I mean, that must have been damn near traumatizing.
It was. It was a very devastating experience. Even being in more so because I'm in the military, and the military they're not the most understanding people in the world.
No.
So it was really embarrassing on that front as well. I'm a very self-conscious individual, so I don't like for anything to be wrong, and that was very wrong.
Yeah.
So
Shit.
the best way I can explain it was I was embarrassed. And it also caused a little bit of paranoia, because I would always be smelling my shirts. Like, okay, does this smell like fish? My bedding, I had to wash that like a million times. My car constantly smelled like it. And so it was like a curse. It was like a curse I couldn't get rid of. And I'm glad it's over with. I couldn't imagine living every day with that. Like that.
Yeah, no. Shit, I mean, I'm sure, I'm not too sure if you've seen like the podcast or anything like that, but like obviously, every person I've had on the podcast so far, myself included, obviously, we've even though it may not be that exact same case, we've definitely, you know, our skin has definitely excreted something that definitely, gives off something not too pleasant. I mean, I'm not too sure if it's like, fish or whatever. For me personally, I mean, for me it could be whatever, any day of the week, but man, kind of like what you said. I mean, you only had it for like a few weeks, which, I mean, I bet there are thousands of, not thousands because we don't have that many, but I bet there are hundreds of people watching this podcast who, they were begging to get what you got. I mean, you got out lucky. Yeah, everyone else, because I mean, they're dealing with that every day. I mean, I know some people dealing with that for damn near 50 years straight, which, I mean, you only dealt with it for like a few weeks, but like 50 years straight, that can really that can really strain a person. So shit. That's some crazy stuff. I mean,
I'll be
you only
fair
lives
though.
with,
The reason I got it was because I was taking way too much.
yeah,
When I made the video about the L-carnitine, I kind of discouraged people from taking too much of it.
yeah,
Just read the recommended dosage, and I would say, from my point of view, take a little bit less than that
yeah,
to be safe, to give yourself a little bit of cushion, because you don't know how your body's going to react to it. I'm somebody, I take a lot of supplements to test them out, to experiment, and that was just one I experimented with, and it went horribly wrong. But as I said, I empathize for those who live with that. Like, to know what that's like, I have a new outlook on it. Like, it can't be easy to deal with.
nah, shit. It's crazy. I mean, there are some people who, I actually know a few people with TMAU who, they, even though they're living through it and they're, dealing with it pretty harshly, the realities of life can be pretty hard. I mean, people getting laid off from jobs because, imagine walking around the entire office like this 24/7, just your entire life, and your coworkers just harassing you or just doing whatever to you. It's not easy. So like I said, people get laid off jobs. People have to, I know some people, like, they get kicked out of apartments, they get kicked out of hotels, just because of this, just because of something that's so trivial. I mean, usually this is something that you would make fun of someone in, middle school, like, oh damn, dude, like, it's been a week and you still got that shit going on. That's usually what people think, but it's a lot more than that. I mean, when you deal with it for, I mean, com- completely forget 50 years. When you deal with it for an entire month, it'll change your entire outlook on life, because you don't get the benefit of the doubt from people. People just, they kind of assume that you don't care, you just do whatever, and that's certainly not the case. I mean, there's even over in, I mean, they're all over the place, mostly in California, like the West Coast and stuff. But I know in Philadelphia, they actually have a research center. It's called a Monell Center, either Monell Center or Monell Research, something like that. And they have a doctor there. His name is Dr. George Preddy, and he's pretty much like the head of the institute. They pretty much study like senses and stuff. So like they've actually conducted extensive research on TMAU, ovarian cancer, and stuff that where your body excretes like just terrible, horrible stuff. I mean, I remember you were talking about how like you were taking too much L-carnitine, and because you took too much L-carnitine, like what did you say it excreted? Did you say it excreted like something? Because like when we were not, I don't want to say we because I've never been diagnosed, although the symptoms are clearly there. I mean, the same way I'm sure you notice your symptoms, the same way I notice mine. Like I mean, just walking down the street, people just saying, oh hey, what's that? Or sometimes friends, family members saying that. I mean, I don't know, what kind of stories you got about family members and friends, but I got stories for days. I mean, were you around your family when this was happening, or was it just kind of like off to the side kind of thing?
Actually, no. I'm stationed up in the Midwest. My family lives in Florida, so it was mainly just people I get posted with.
Yeah,
It wasn't
coworkers.
so exactly, and that's
Damn.
really all it was. And then random people at the grocery store, and the first
And how
people who
far did they sense it too?
like trying to use like a car length away, they could smell me away,
Yeah.
which is that's a huge proximity. Um, there was one guy I was going to the post office, and he said he thought he smelled the ocean, and I
Damn.
was just like,
You were paranoid as shit.
yeah, because there's no ocean in
Damn.
the Midwest, so it's
Ain't
just
no damn ocean out there.
so um,
Yeah. Damn.
I like I said, I did a lot of research. Whenever something horrible happens to me, or just something strange or surreal like this,
Yeah.
I do a lot of research. I'm just very inquisitive about it, and that's how I learn about the metabolites and how your body can't break large amounts of L-carnitine down, and what it can do, and what's the process of getting rid of it. And I did all kinds of things to get rid of it. I drank a lot of lime juice, lemon juice. I took showers in antibacterial soap. I
Same.
washed a lot of my whites with bleach. I did everything I could, and bleach alternative that, color safe stuff. And I was just very paranoid, very, very paranoid.
Yeah.
But it went away in 2 to 3 weeks, so I don't have to live
Yeah,
with it
man.
now.
Shit. That's what's up right there. I mean, I know some people who, they're still. Myself. I mean, I'll admit, like, I'll go out in public and I'll still be paranoid. But we have some stronger people in the community. Like, I know there's this one girl. Her name is Whitney. I don't know if she. I mean, she has a YouTube channel, so I mean, I'll just say her last name because her YouTube channel is actually has her last name in it. But her name is Whitney Davory. And she like, I mean, I'm paranoid going to the damn, cafeteria. Whitney Davor, like, she's a bad motherfucker. She'll actually have a video camera. She'll be videotaping herself walking around big ass cities like New York City with this shit, with this TMAU shit. She'll be walking around New York City just freaking filming herself, being like, "Hey, motherfuckers, I'm having a good ass time over here." Like, that's some hardcore shit to be going around with this and doing it in New York City. Well, I mean, I understand New York is, there's a lot of shit going on, rotten Chinese food all over the damn place. That maybe people won't necessarily sense you, but they'll sense something when they're walking by you. So to be walking around one of the big, well, not one of the biggest, but one of the most populated cities in America with TMAU, that's pretty ballsy right there. I still wouldn't do that, to be honest with you. That's some
Yeah.
crazy shit.
I mean, that's good that she's empowered enough to do that, but there's a lot of just self-conscious people out there. And not everybody understands. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like when you try to explain this to people, they don't get it. Like they'll look at you like deer in the headlights. I don't understand. Why do you smell like fish
Yeah.
or whatever you smell like? Especially in my career field, I'm military police, and like I said before, we're not the most understanding people in the world.
Not at all.
And so whenever something like this is happening to you, you get the worst of it from the worst kinds of people. and and it's never good. So I'm glad this was just a temporary thing. I'm glad that I didn't have to go to medical or anything like that, because that was going to be my next step. That could be psychologically like
damaging,
detrimental to somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Damn, we actually had a guy who was on the podcast. His name was TJ. He was on the very first podcast. He's been on subsequent podcasts also. He was actually trying to go into the military, and I think he was trying to go into the military before this happened to him, and then it happened to him, and then he was like, "Yeah, no, fuck that," because I'm pretty sure he thought I'm on the same lines as you did. If you go to the military with that, it's not gonna end up too good, because I think he was gonna go into like the Marines or whatever, and living with Marines, and those not all of them, but like some of them are gonna be hard asses and stuff, and I'm already a security guard. All those security guards that I work with, they're pretty cool about it. Yeah, they'll react, they'll flare up and stuff, but they won't be too much of a dick about it. And also one thing you said about like the car length away, that's actually compared to some of us and stuff. That's actually really good, because like some of us, like I've noticed people, like I'll be over here and like I can't really use a metric, like, but let's just say like I'll be shit. I've noticed people. I've gone into buildings and I've like how even though you're at like one side of the building, and like pretty much what I'm trying to say is like the walls aren't too thick in each and every single building that you go to. So like you can hear people say stuff. I can tell you right now, like I've heard people on the top floor when the windows are closed. Like windows are straight up closed. It's not as though I'm hearing them through the window or anything. I'll hear people through the walls. Like I'll be on the third floor, someone will be on the fourth floor. I'll be hearing people on the fourth floor say shit. Like that's how bad it gets sometimes. So I mean, a car length away. That's that's. I'd beg for a car length away, but man, when
as
when
far
you
as
get
I
into
know, as far as I know,
yeah, it could have been shit.
a lot worse.
I remember. No, go ahead. Actually,
So when I was at Walmart, luckily for me, I was right across the aisle from the fish area. So I think I was looking at chips or something. I forget what I was looking at. And the fish aisle and the seafood aisle was right down there. So this couple walks up to me like, man, something really smells like fish. And the husband was like, oh, it's probably the fish aisle over there. And I'm like, and I knew it was me, because if you're smelling fish in a grocery store from that far away, that means the fish is either rotting or there's something else wrong with it. So that's why I was like, yeah, this is definitely me. It's probably not the seafood.
Damn.
But I had that scapegoat. They think it's the seafood. Let me get out of here.
I had something like that just the other day. I was at Stop and Shop, and I don't know, like I just and it wasn't like another person. Like I could sense something. I was like, damn, what, and obviously I knew it was me, but I just, even when I sensed like, holy shit, like what is that? Um, but I was in the deli aisle. They had like meats and cheese and stuff, and like everybody was just looking around, like just, oh Jesus, just everybody was complaining and shit. And I just looked near the cheese and stuff, because like obviously I go to predominantly white school, predominantly white town. So when someone senses stuff like that, they I'll walk into a class and people will immediately just look at me. Like there'll be thousands, not thousands, but like tens of white girls, tens of black girls, lots of whatever, even mixed people, and like the first thing they sense, and they immediately look at the black guy right there, and it's like oh yeah, we all know it's him. But thankfully, thankfully it was I was at that specific time I was next to the deli aisle with cheese and beef and all that, so I guess people just started thinking, oh, it's the cheese or it's the beef or whatever. But like you said, ain't no freaking cheese or beef that be rotten that bad that freaking motherfuckers can like sense that shit from like a good yards away or whatever. So that's, oh shit, I don't even want to. I've had stories for days. I mean, I'm sure even in your short time, I'm sure you've had some stories. But man, I could go on for days about some of the reactions I've gotten. Some of just the nonsense that me and other people have had to go through. I mean, damn. Like I said, I could go on for days. But man, shit. Let's talk about like the military and like your job and like your posts and stuff like that. Like you're out in the
Mhm.
Midwest, you're still doing that stuff, like over in the Midwest and stuff.
Oh, I'm still stationed up here. I'm military police. Uh, we're known as security forces. I'm actually in the Air Force. Um, basically, we we have two like jobs. We do security and we do law enforcement. And basically, like there's ECPs, people who are at like gates, and also you have your patrolmen that drive around the base and in places outside the base to ensure safety of the personnel and resources. Um, yep, we carry long guns and short guns, a lot of ammo. Uh, it's a tough job. We're out in the elements quite a bit. We deal with a lot of crazy people, a lot of drunk people, usually drunk Marines, but that's another story.
Damn.
Uh,
Drunk Marines supposed to be serving the military? The fuck?
there was actually there was actually a story. There was this Marine that was actually posted at the base that I'm at, and he was taking meth and something called fentanyl.
Damn.
And we went to his house, not me personally, but someone else in my unit, and they went to his house. And the first thing he sees is these two airmen standing at his door, and he got pissed off, and he's like, "Oh, hell no!" And then he just started throwing punches and stuff, and they had to tase him and put him in cuffs. And it was a challenge to get him down, because when you get a Marine going that way, he doesn't stop until he finishes. So, so they had to tase him. They had no choice. Like otherwise, he was not going to go down. And on fentanyl and meth, his heart rate was going really, really fast. So that's the kind of stuff we deal with on a regular basis. Mostly it's domestic calls. Like we go to people's houses, suicidal ideations and stuff like that. I work the night shift too, so I see plenty of that stuff. So it's
it's even worse
pretty
than the
crazy
party
job.
night shit. That's crazy, man. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm. Thank God I'm only doing security over at a Natick mall. I mean, obviously I just go to, I'll just be walking around the mall, just do check throughs. Just if a store is, saying that they have a shoplifter, just go into the store, just chill, just see that no one's doing anything stupid, just get outside, and that's really all I deal with. I mean, I've dealt with like a few shoplifters. Um, we mostly deal with like the big shit that happens is mostly medicals. I mean, yeah, we get crazy people every here and there, but like I said, mostly all we get is like medicals. Like let's say, I remember one time a woman was pregnant inside the mall, so we had to like just make everybody get out of the way, then call the ambulance first, then make everybody get out of the way. Just be with her, have towels ready and all that shit. Just because, I mean, we're not doctors, but just in case shit goes down, then we have to act, even though we have no idea what we're doing. But fuck it. Yeah. So we had to. That was the craziest thing I ever dealt with. But I mean, fentanyl, shit, fuck that, dude. I mean, dudes be like on.
I never heard of it before that. Like I never heard of fentanyl before
Shit,
that.
that's some like friggin' Breaking Bad shit. Like, was it blue and shit? Was it blue and friggin' where motherfuckers,
Again, I
dressed in
didn't
like,
see it. I wasn't
yeah,
there, but it happened during the shift that I was working. So
yeah. Oh, so you heard,
we
yeah,
we
shit.
heard all about it the next day,
Oh
and
shit.
apparently that's a problem in this area. So
Oh yeah,
um,
Midwest. You guys do all sorts of shit out there.
not I.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not
yeah,
from.
but like, people around you, they must be doing that shit all the time. And like, I know the
Mm,
military has like a shit ton of problem with drugs and stuff.
mostly marijuana. That seems to be the drug of choice. I
Yeah,
don't
like
smoke
abuse and
marijuana.
stuff. See, I
I
know people
just
be
vape.
abusing stuff all the time.
hmm It's it's rampant. I mean, as soon as people are out of basic training, especially the younger kids. I'm actually I joined a little older, but especially the younger kids. As soon as they get a little bit of freedom from basic training and tech school, that's when they want to go out and do crazy stuff.
Yeah,
And
because they didn't go through college, so they want to do all that stupid shit.
hmm
Damn. I couldn't be in the military. Even if I didn't have this whole TMAU shit, I couldn't be in the military, dude. Like that's. I thought about it when I was in like when I was a freshman, but that's only because I was playing like Battlefield and I was airsofting and paintballing. I didn't actually want to be in the military. I just wanted to have fun, just shoot guns, obviously, paintballs and shit like that. I didn't really want to actually be in the military because when you actually stop and think about it, that's like a whole different lifestyle that you have to live. You have to dedicate so much to it. You can't really be with your, I mean, you can, but you can be on the reserve, but you can't really be with your family as much as you probably want to. You can't have the free time. I mean, you may have free time. Yeah, obviously, like you said, guys, party. But it's not like, it's not like you can just party whenever. You have to like really buckle down. I mean, honestly, college is like I talk shit about how much I hate college and I just want to get out of here as soon as possible. But I, I would hate the military life more than I would hate college, dude, because that stuff is like it's just not for me. I just couldn't get adapted to it.
The thing that when it's funny you mentioned Battlefield, there's a lot of kids when I was going through basic and even tech school that thought that we were some kind of Call of Duty, Battlefield,
Yeah, they're probably like me.
special
Shit.
ops. Once you play those games after you join, you realize it's a lot of nonsense. Most of the Call of Duty and stuff like that, that's based on spec ops. That's based on special operations. And that is
Yeah.
a very tiny part of the military. You are top of the line if you're doing anything close to that.
Yeah.
Chances are, if you're Army infantry, if you're military police, or someone like me, you're not doing anything like that. Even when you deploy, even when you're basically going to be doing the same stuff. I'd be doing law enforcement and security over there, just like I'm doing right here. We're not now. There might be times where you clear buildings, or you're taking a K9 and stiffing out bombs and stuff like that. But that's more or less EOD. But it's nothing like the video games. And I think the video game industry should really like be careful with that, because there's a lot of impressionable kids who believe that's what the military is. Most of the military is normal jobs. You have your medical, you have your legal, you have your firefighters, you have your police like me. You have I think you froze again. I'll just keep talking though. You have your let me see, you got services, people who cook, people who work at gyms. It's not all the stuff you see in these first-person shooter games, and that they glorify the military to a point where it's just such a overly glorified thing, and it's not even that accurate. And for a lot of people who don't think they could join the military because of that, I challenge you. Like, if you want to be a firefighter, joining the military is probably the perfect opportunity to do it, because you get free training, you get a lot of benefits, and when you get out, you can do the same thing in the civilian world. As far as the lifestyle goes, yep, you're on a short leash. You don't really get a whole lot of freedom. You get free time, but if they need you to come back in, if you're active duty, you got to come right back to your post. And so that's something that everyone should consider if you're going to join. Is it super hard? I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Any job where you make money is going to be hard.
Fucking YouTube, dude.
It's okay. I just kept talking.
I know. Yeah, no, definitely keep doing that if I drop, because, obviously it's going to be awkward because of this fucking YouTube shit. I can't stand it. But we're doing our best, like I said. Oh, shit. But, I'm going to try and get some other people in this podcast, because people being shy, bro, should be pissing me the fuck off. No, I'm fucking with you. Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just saying the reason it took me so long is because my schedule is so erratic, especially for my career field. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll be honest with you. Our career field is probably one of the hardest because they need us at all times. We're base defense. People like medical, people like cooks and legal and, stuff like that. Those guys, they work 5 days and they go home for 2 days. We work 2 days, 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off, and then 12-hour shifts every other weekend. So it's very erratic. I can't make plans because it's always, you never know. And then and when you're active duty, if they want to call you in for training or call you in for a briefing, or the commander wants to have a meeting with everybody, you got to get dressed up and go, even if it's your off day. You're on a short leash. There's not a whole lot of freedom.
That's crazy. I couldn't live. I'm trying to. I'm doing computer science right now, and one of the reasons why I chose computer science was because I want to have my own schedule. Like, I eventually, obviously, I want to, do the whole, just get my student loans paid, because that's number one. When I graduate, that's number one on my list, get my student loans paid, because I don't want to be anybody's bitch. I don't want to be anybody's slave. So get my student loans paid. Once I do that, just be my own person, hopefully start my own business, or if not start my own business, be in a position where I can kind of make my own schedule, just do whatever I want whenever I want to. And with computer science, you pretty much have, I mean, if you're somewhat good at it, you pretty much have the luxury of doing that, because I mean, computer scientists are needed damn near in every single section of everything. I mean, biology, military, criminal justice, all that stuff. They all need computer scientists. So, like I said, hopefully this computer science thing will let me do my own thing, because I'm not trying to. I mean, props to you for doing it, but like I said, I can't do that kind of life. Just being, just having someone be like, hey, you have to come in, and me just being like, all right, like I can't do that shit. Maybe, man, fuck.
It's
for doing it, dude. It's not an easy schedule.
Oh no. But the thing is though, most of the military is not like that. Like I said, most of it is a regular job. You work 5 days on, 2 days off. If you're medical, legal, firefighters, what else we got? EOD for the most part, intel, stuff like that. Most of the time you have a normal work schedule. Us, it's just completely different, because they need us at any point in time. And also they deploy us. We have a really high deployment tempo. So it's active duty, stateside. It sucks. I'll be honest with you.
God damn. Let me just read some of these comment sections real quick.
Sure.
Though I wish it was me, I'm glad it didn't stick with him. As you said, Leslie, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. So yeah, someone in the comment section just said they're glad you got rid of it, because it's not something that you want to have. It's definitely not a problem you want to have in life. No matter what you're working as, or no matter where you are.
I empathize with anybody who actually lives with it as a medical condition.
Every single day, 24/7.
I just got
crazy, dude. Yeah, no, you just got, man, you got like 1 day. I know people, like I said, 50 years, 10 years, 7. I've got 7 years, but I'm talking to this one guy about coming onto the podcast. He's had it since he was young, and he's like around 50. So that's crazy. I can't even. High school must have been. I mean, fuck high school. Elementary school must have been tough for him.
High school was tough for me. Dickheads. I didn't even have that. So I mean,
school was tough for me too. But like kind of like you said, like I didn't get this until 7th grade. So like once I got it at 7th grade, because like 7th grade is when people really start to develop, socially and just everything. And 7th grade really fucked me up. I mean, that just really fucked me up, dude. Same Zach. I was in a dorm with brick walls, and people still smelled me as they passed my door. Yeah, no, people do that same thing over here. I mean, brick walls, door, everything's covered. I'm in the same room by myself. I mean, I could have all the windows raised up, and I can still get people walking by my door, just giving me all sorts of reactions, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
those energy drinks.
What were you saying about the energy drinks?
Oh no, someone was talking about the energy drinks you have behind you or whatever.
This?
Yeah, like I guess they were just asking like what energy drink you were drinking or whatever.
Oh, it's a Monster Absolutely Zero.
She said, oh no, go ahead.
Fun fact: Monsters actually contain L-carnitine. With that being said,
Monsters can.
With that being said, there's not enough to give you that if you don't already have it. Something to, that's something you should know. There is L-carnitine in this. It's actually in the ingredients. So if that's something you're suffering from, you probably want to avoid stuff like that.
She actually said, her name was Dominique. She actually said that's what started it for her, the Monster and like all those energy drinks. So I would assume, I mean, obviously she has a predisposition. Because, like, obviously drinking Monsters all day isn't, I would think, at least, it isn't going to give you the TMAU symptoms. But I don't know. I don't know how many she was drinking a day. But I don't know. Maybe she had a predisposition to having enzymes or genes that didn't work. Because, like, TMAU, one of the reasons why people actually have it is because they have enzymes or genes that are not there. They're faulty. Either they're faulty or they're not working in the first place, or their liver doesn't break down not the supplement, the substance called TMA, and TMA is what is excreted out of the body, and TMA is what produces just produces a terrible reaction from other people. I mean, when people sense TMA, it's not very pleasant. There's actually I don't know what he's studying. I would assume it's like either biochemistry or something in biology, something in the field of just that field of study. But he's actually trying to do like a presentation in his college or in his study, I think PhD program, whatever. He's actually trying to recreate TMA so that he can actually have like during like a presentation, a school presentation, he's actually trying to recreate TMA and like have other people go around and like actually take a whiff of it. And he's actually trying to like get TMAU like get it more out there into the public, because people, like you said earlier, and like I've been saying for all these podcasts, when people hear about it, they're just like like what the hell, like they wouldn't even thought about it. And so I guess he's trying to like go out and actually like bring about this, and just bring about it into the public and let people know that hey, if someone's suffering from something like this, maybe they are suffering, maybe it's not because of a lack of hygiene or whatever. So definitely props to him.
I'll be honest with you, because before I even heard about this, if I smelled someone else, because I've never.
Oh yeah, you would think like, what the hell is their problem?
I don't think I would understand either until I had done the research and understood what it was. I don't think I ever would have understood either. So I'm not mad at these people for not understanding. I just, when I got a glimpse of it, it opened my eyes to it, and now I really empathize. I really do with people who have it long term.
I've actually, I mean, I haven't said on the podcast. I've said on a few private podcasts, but actually, even though I didn't say it publicly, I've actually been on the record for saying that if I didn't have this, I would think the exact same way that you did. I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with that person? Like, what the hell, what the hell is their problem? So, I mean, I guess it's just kind of human nature, really. At the end of the day, I'm kind of a person who, I mind my business. I would be like, yeah, what the hell is wrong with that person? But I'd probably just be like, all right, that's his problem. I got my own problems to deal with. I'm just staying into my business. But I'm not too sure if you experienced it on your like 2 or 3 week stint. But there are some people who like, they're obsessed with you. Like I've gone into Stop and Shops or grocery stores in general, and like they'll see me and they'll recognize me. And obviously with this whole TMAU shit, like they'll start telling their friends like, oh hey, look at he's here. It's like, damn dude, like seriously, like I'm just trying get from A to B, do my shit, just be myself, just trying to get my produce, get my whatever, just macadamia nuts, whatever the fuck, and just be. But I actually know one girl who she said she'll go into like just Walmart or whatever, and the Walmart employees will actually be like, oh yeah, that's the girl I saw on the internet. And like she'll actually be like, what the like, I'm not on the internet, what the fuck are they talking about? And like she actually said that people were spreading shit on the internet about her just because of this shit. And not only that, but like people would like, they would follow her and they would take pictures of her and shit. And it's like, that's some nosy ass shit right there. I mean, even if I didn't have this, and like if I like sent someone with this, I don't think I would like follow the person, like take pictures of them, because like, wouldn't you think if someone produced something that foul, like wouldn't you want to get away from them, not follow them and take fucking pictures like that? I don't know, if I didn't have this, I wouldn't want to go towards someone and follow them. I'd want to fucking go the exact opposite way. But
people are
everyone's
weird.
different. People are nosy, dude. I mean, that's one thing that I really noticed with this whole thing. Like, people are just nosy, like just following people, taking pictures of them. Like, but I'd beat someone's ass if they fucking took a picture of me just because of this bullshit. It's just stupid.
People are so strange, and the older I get, the more obvious it becomes to me. Like, I'm just like, people enjoy. You know what I think it is? I think a lot of people are bored with their own lives, so they seek out people that aren't normal or have something going on because it makes their lives a little bit more interesting.
It has to be that, because like following someone and taking pictures of them just because they're like that shit. That's not me. Like I'm mind my own business. I go from A to B. I do my own shit. One thing that's actually been happening here on this campus, like we've been having a shit ton of like racial incidents, and like you know how the university will try and dumb it down. Oh, we've had some bias incidents. Fuck that. It's hate crime. That's what it is. The fucking higher up, upper administration doesn't want to admit it. These are hate crimes that are going on. Ladies and gentlemen watching this podcast, because we average anywhere from 300 to 800 views, because like our top rated podcast is like 900 views. Our lowest has been anywhere from like I think 200, but those are pretty recent. So over time, people are gonna watch them. But like people watch this podcast, Westfield State University. If you're black and you're coming to Westfield State University in Western Massachusetts, be careful, because there's some hate crimes going on around here. I'm telling you, straight up hate crimes. Like people will get 2 months ago, there was a girl in one of the dorms, and she had the words like she went up to like a grocery store. She came back, and on her door, someone wrote "niggers live here," and "black girls suck good dick." And like that shit caused an uproar. Like fucking, she went on Twitter. She told everybody about this. She tweeted at the president. The president was forced. Yes, I said it. He was forced to do something. He wasn't gonna do shit. He was forced to do it because so many people. I mean, in the social media age, it spread like wildfire. So many people caught on to it. Even the Miami Herald even like wrote an article on it about the incident that happened to her, and more incidents just kept happening and happening and happening. Just this past week, I went home, so I didn't see it, but like we had people like in this very dorm. They were just going on people's they would just get markers and just write on people's doors like niggers live here, or hang all niggers, or just I know a few people who had they had the word spick, or they had like swastikas. There was one Muslim girl, she had a swastika all over her door, like 5 of them or some shit. And like just hate crimes going all over the damn place. And that's not even where it stops too. Just outside my window, not just outside, like just like a few blocks away from my window, there was a girl, and she was just walking from A to B, minding her own business. And like you said, these dickheads who their lives aren't interesting, they just want to do something interesting with their life. Unfortunately, they don't they're not trying to better their lives through their education, which is why they're here in the first fucking place. But anyway, they're trying to just bully people and just harass people. So what they did was they actually pushed her down, like straight up, just pushed her down. One of them kicked. There were 3 guys. They came up from behind her. They pushed her down. They they kicked her backpack, and then after that, they started yelling racial slurs at her, which it's like, what the, like, you're in college and like you're doing that stupid shit. Like, if you hate minorities, fine, that's your shit. That's your shit. Just leave it be. Yeah, you don't have to act on your friggin' shit, because like once you act on it, well, not only do you hate minorities, you could have been a closet racist, just lived your life, but now you're acting on your shit. Have you acted on your shit? You fucked over someone else, and because you fucked over someone else, you could probably go to jail because of it. I mean, if you want to run that risk of possibly going to jail, then that's your problem. I don't know what the fuck's going on in your head, but I just don't understand that shit. Like, that's just stupid. I just live. You're coming to school to get a fucking degree. It's like,
to be honest with you, like we live in a very angry time, a very polarized time.
Yeah.
And this was made more apparent to me when I went on 4chan. If you ever go in the poll section of 4chan, you'll see some of the worst racism. I grew up with racism to the point where I'm kind of numb to it.
Yeah.
And I'm a bigger picture kind of guy. I don't look at race as something to define what a person is. There have been people that I've learned things from that have been white. There are people that I've learned from that have been black. Anybody of any race can be a good person or a bad person.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's why I don't try to look at people on those lines. Now, these people who go out of their way to be racist and they think racism is cool, there's 2 camps that I've noticed. There are the people who really believe this stuff, or they get excited when they read like Mein Kampf and all this racial stuff. Yeah. And then there's the people who just want to be part of a group They
Oh
want to be
yeah,
part of it.
definitely.
And they don't really believe this stuff, but they feel like they'll be accepted if they act like they do, or otherwise called LARPers, live action role players. And you know when I realized this is probably what is more than likely going on. I don't know if you were keeping up with the Charlottesville stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I saw this video of this kid. He was wearing one of the white polos or whatever, and he's like, all right, I was just kidding, and he took off his polo, and
Oh yeah.
I was going around with the camera, and he's like, no, I just thought it would be cool to be part of a group, and you know, and I was just like,
idiot.
And you know what? I don't think he was the only one. I think there's other people in that
there must
group.
have been tons of them. Yeah, it must be tons of them, dude. Shit. People just want
There's
me
a lot
to feel.
of people
I just don't.
that troll. There's a lot of people who troll, and when they do it in real life, they realize, wow, there's actual repercussions for doing this.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's more or less going on these days with the race stuff.
I think there are definitely copycats too, because I remember that girl who had the thing written on her wall. She wasn't the first, obviously. You know, I mean, it's college. People are gonna write stuff. This is happening. People from I remember there was this girl on Twitter who she said this has been happening since 1998, like straight up. Like, you know, it's just that we're in the age of social media. That's why it got blown up so big this particular time. But it had spiked. The thing is, it had spiked. Like it wasn't happening nearly as much. Like the weeks following it, before the girl even posted that to Twitter, you know, there were more racial incidents that were being reported. So pretty much now, from right this very moment until from the moment that the whole thing happened, when she first posted, to like I would say a few days ago, the university reported 57 reports of hate crimes happening, whether it be assault or people getting stuff written on their board, or you know how people have. I'm not too sure. Like, have you been to college before?
Oh yeah, I have a 2-year degree, so I went to a college, but I didn't live on campus.
Oh, like not dorm and stuff. Okay. Yeah, like when you're in a dorm, like people have like boards on their doors, and like people write stuff on, like, you know, hey, you know, I think you're awesome. Hey, this, whatever. It's like people. This has been like I said, you know, between people writing stuff on boards, or people vandalizing walls, or people just assaulting other people. There have been 57 cases of hate crimes going on in this university, and not one single arrest, not one, zero, zip, goose egg. It's kind of weird because, yeah, I mean, it sucks because, I mean, you know, they said they're going to get surveillance, but fuck knows when that's going to happen. I mean, they've been saying they'll, you know, do all sorts of shit for quite some time, but who knows? Who fucking knows, dude?
In the Air Force, actually, there was a racial thing that happened at the Air Force Academy. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. But the thing that I hate about that was a black guy admitted to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
A fucking, like, that's so, Jesus fucking, like, holy dude. I think that's worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, your own kind doing that shit to you, that's worse to me.
Was he
like,
trying
shit.
So what was the context? Was he trying to be funny? Was he
I think he was trying to be funny, like, because you don't do that as a black person, even if you, because, like, black people can hate black people. You know, there are some black people who are racist towards black people, either because of self-hate or because of whatever. Like, I've seen it, you know, I've actually had friends who, I remember I actually had this one friend before I had TMAU. I had this one friend who, he actually told me, like, the first time he ever got called a nigger was by a black woman. The black woman just was racist towards other black people because of whatever reason. And yeah, you know, she called him a nigger in a negative tone, clearly, because yeah. But I guess he was just trying to be funny, or just, I don't know. That's just sickening. That's just worse than a white person doing it to a black person. Because when a white person does it to a black person, oh no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What disturbs me about that is at the Air Force Academy, those are the officers, those are the leaders. Those are going to be the future leaders of the Air Force, and we have some of those guys doing that. And regardless of your race, that's disgraceful. Like that's absolutely disgraceful that you're going to be leading, you know, other military personnel, you know, enlisted people like me, who act better than that, who act better than you. And I mean, it's very, very unfortunate and sad that this happens. But you know what? I like the way it was handled by the general who did it. He was swift, he was to the point, he was stern, and he was serious, and he addressed it. Now, this guy who did it, he was black, but the punishment's the same. The punishment is the same though, because you know what? He's kicked out. He will not be in the military, and I think that was justice was served. Whoever did it needed to be kicked out.
That's fucking that disgusts me more than God. I just can't even fathom that. Oh, by the way, TJ, what's going on, man?
What's up, people? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, man.
All right, cool. Yo. Oh, thank you for your service, by the way, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I know tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Oh yeah, tomorrow Veterans Day. That's
you're gonna
tomorrow's
hit up like
Veterans Day, because that's why I didn't
hit
have
up like Denny's or like Applebee's or something. Get a bunch of free food.
Well, I work tomorrow. What they're gonna throw, they're gonna have like a cookout for us tomorrow at the squadron. So
I see.
We'll be taken care of. I actually went out yesterday to Walmart. I was in uniform because we had to go to a briefing, and so I couldn't change. And everyone kept saying, "Thank you for your service." I'm like, "What's going on?" And then I realized, oh yeah, it's Veterans Day tomorrow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually gotta say thank you. Thanks for your service to my girlfriend tomorrow, because she was in the Army. So yeah.
Thank her for her service.
Yeah, I'll let her know you said that. So how long have you been on the Air Force for? I wasn't here in the beginning if you talked about that.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
This is my third year.
How you like it so far?
I love what I do. I don't love where I'm posted, but I love what I do. I'm really proud to wear the uniform. I'll just put it to you that way.
I see. That must feel great, man. It's awesome.
But there's more to me than that, though. I'm not just I'm a regular guy. I'm kind of a geek. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I play video games just like everybody else.
You're just a normal guy, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, like you said, being in the military is just like a normal job. You're just in the military, so.
But I recommend it to anybody who's trying to do something in life, who might just need some direction. I really encourage anybody to join, because anybody can do it. Well, maybe not the Marines, but anybody can join.
Marines, fuck them. I'm not doing that shit. I can't.
Yeah, I can't believe I almost did that shit, man. Fuck that, dude.
That would have been hard, dude.
I thought I would have took it pretty easily, but looking like I'm kind of happy I didn't do it now. As of we all know why, because I got this shit. Now, so,
even without TMAU, I don't think I thought about it even without TMAU, but I wouldn't go into it because, like I said, the military life's not for me. I mean, I'm already doing security, and that stuff's kind of annoying. So I couldn't imagine dealing with what you guys deal with. I mean, I'm dealing with the minor shit. Like, yeah, we get drunk people, but we don't get people on friggin' meth and shit. Like,
yeah, that's
I've never had to deal with.
Man, that's crazy. I don't even know what that is, but that sounds like a crazy drug.
Doesn't know what it is?
Yeah, like fentanyl or whatever you called it.
I'm not even quite certain what it is, to be honest with you. I know it's something that he took with meth, and it just made him go nuts.
Damn. There's all sorts of shit, dude. Fucking, there's like K2 and stuff. What is K? Like, isn't it like some just like some chemicals sprayed together that gives you like the effect of whatever? I don't know. I'm not into that shit.
There's a new drug called Flocka. It makes you turn it gives you like crazy strength, and like people try to eat themselves or try to eat other people on it. It's crazy.
Jeez. All sorts of shit going on.
Who knows what's happening?
My home state is the guy, home of the Florida guy who almost ate somebody's face off.
Oh yeah, bath salts or whatever.
Tommy guy, yeah. I'm familiar with that.
I remember here over in, I'm not too sure about your guys' area, but like when we heard about that bath salt shit here in Massachusetts, like people thought the apocalypse was gonna happen. Like people thought that guy like genuinely turned into a zombie. Like people
What?
literally thought the apocalypse was fucking happening.
That's funny.
I remember there was some shit called crocodile, but it's not spelled the same way crocodile. It's like I can't. I mean, I'll try and look it up real quick. I think it's like COROAIDIL, some shit like that. Crocodile.
It probably could be the apocalypse if someone figures out, hey, let's put this in the water supply.
The way the government's going. The way the government's going. Probably isn't the water supply. Shit. Oh yeah, here it is. KROKODIL, crocodile, or whatever the fuck.
Crocodile.
Synthetic opioid with powerful, fast-acting effects such as sedation. I don't even want to fucking know what else it does. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's like the formula is C for anybody who knows the periodic table. C17H21NO2. So I forgot the periodic table. I haven't done chemistry in a long time. So for all the chemists out there, that's the formula you need, buddy.
That's scariness.
That's crazy, dude. It's like some like, I know there was something else that back when I used to watch the Young Turks, there was like Cenk, for anybody who's familiar with the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur talked about something with gasoline or whatever. Which I mean, I'm not ingesting gasoline in any way, shape, or form. If you're going that far to get high, that you're using gasoline to something else, then that's your problem. That's not my problem. Motherfuckers be using gasoline to get high and shit. Like, what?
Well, I know they put gasoline in cocaine to make it, so people have been smoking gasoline for years, I guess.
I can't even stand the smell of it when I'm pumping gas. Like, I can't believe people would want to put that.
It's like a fucking skunk.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Oh, let me see some of these comment sections. The guy was like, oh, let me scroll back up and read. I was in Cracker Barrel today getting lunch to this, and this couple behind me sprayed me with some type of air freshener, and I turned around to look at them directly in the face. God, fuck that guy. The guy was like, this is some strong stuff. I didn't say anything or do anything. I just started praying for food to hurry up. Damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Legally, that's assault.
I was about to say, isn't that assault?
Really? Because I've been through that many times. So, I mean,
if someone sprays you with an unknown chemical, you could call the cops and you can make a report. Now, will they go to jail? Probably not. Probably get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But you could at least hem them up so they don't do that shit again.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, like you said, they probably just get a slap on the wrist. So there's really no
That's
point.
so fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Like if it were me, I would make their lives a living hell for that time being, so they don't do that to somebody else. That's just how I think, though.
I would have I've never been in that specific situation, but man, I don't even know how I'd react, dude. I mean, I'd want to slap the shit out of them, but then again, I don't want to catch a case. So, And with this shit, you be trying to catch a case in damn near every situation you get on. I mean, the people that try and test you with this shit, it's crazy.
It's insane, man.
People be trying to test you left and right.
Yeah, I was in Utah on the bus. I ended up taking a bus when I was out there in JC, and fucking this chick, man, she was sitting in front of me on the bus, and she just kept spraying like cologne, and like, yeah. So I've been through that before, so I know what that chick was talking about.
God damn, dude. Like I said, oh, like when you were going through the symptoms and stuff.
Well, the thing was, she didn't spray me with it. Like I walked around the store to get something. I was getting a supplement to quell the symptoms. I think I was getting I forget what I was getting, but it was something to quell the symptoms. It was charcoal. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, activated charcoal.
And I walked around the store, and then she walked around with a little thing and just sprayed the store after I left. So she didn't. I mean, I wasn't I wasn't offended because I knew it stunk, but I was like, oh man, I gotta take care of this. Like, this is ruining my life. Girl was cute too. Insult to injury.
Yeah, dude, it's even worse for me. 'Cause, like, I remember one time I was like, I was obviously doing security, and I had to do a walkthrough of a store. You have to go into all the stores, and like, not all of them, not each and every single one of them, just the ones that ask, like the high-end stores that ask, and the low-end stores that ask. But I had to go into this one store, and this one store, like, I walked into the store, I did the walkthrough, came out of the store. And then literally, like, I guess, I just went somewhere else, did another walkthrough. And then as I was passing the store again, I could see the manager just going all over the damn place, just spraying the whole damn place. And like you said, she was, the girl that I was looking at, she was cute too. And like, when she saw me coming and she was spraying this shit, she immediately turned around because, like, she didn't want me to see that she was spraying the whole damn place when obviously I saw clear as day what the fuck she was doing. So, and I get that all the time. I mean, I've seen people spray the damn, I don't know, I've seen people out here spray the damn hallways, and once they see me, they're like, oh shit, they're kind of just,
Yeah, I've been sprayed with Febreze before, so I know. I get what you mean, man.
If somebody sprays, we're fighting. Like,
I was about to, like, how do you not catch a case in that? Oh man.
Well, I was kind of out of it when it happened. I guess. Well, I was super drunk when it happened, so I guess I was out of it. So, like, while I was just fucking passed out, they were just spraying me with Febreze. That's what I heard.
I've talked to so many people with this who, like, I've told them, like, straight up, like, some of the stories they've told me, I just can't help but sit there and say to yourself, like, how do you stay sane? Like, I've had some pretty bad stories, but some people have had even worse stories than me, and it's like, how does this person not in jail because of all the shit that other people have done to them? Because it's been. Oh no, go ahead, man.
I was just saying, I think you would have to live a very isolated lifestyle. Go to places, nobody there.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what most of us do anyway. I know that's the shit ton what I do.
Like, yeah, it just totally flips your life around, total 180. Well, me, I mean, I got this when I was 18, and I'm about to be 22. So, I was super sociable and, out there, full of life. And then this comes, completely 180. I live, like you said, a completely isolated life. And if I do go into the stores or anything, it has to be at a certain time, like either like right before it closes or as soon as it opens. So, it's not packed.
Yeah.
So.
I was about to
totally
say,
isolation.
when I go to the grocery store, I usually go early in the morning, like anywhere from 7 to 10, or anywhere from, I would say, 9 to 10. And it's even worse because, like, I'm living over here in college, and like I don't have my own bathroom here in this university. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, obviously with TMAU already, it's already bad, but with TMAU, and let's say you have to do your business in the bathroom and you have to use the public bathroom, dog.
Yeah.
The reactions are not fun.
Yeah, at least I had my own bathroom when I was living in dorm. So I guess that was a
man. I'm telling you, the reactions are not fun when you have to use a public bathroom.
That sucks, man.
I hate getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I have to get up 7 o'clock in the morning just so that no one else has to deal with sensing what's going on in the bathroom. So
yeah,
it sucks. But
back when I was living in barracks, when I was going through this, I had a room inspection.
Oh shit!
These were higher ranking people too, and they walked in my room, and they were like, "What does that smell?" And I was just like, I don't know, Sergeant. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't say it was
You were
me.
just like, I plead the fifth. Shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily though, I had a lot of supplements in my room at the time. So I was able to say, oh yeah, it's my supplements. It's my dandelion root. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so.
Yo, when you get this shit, you become the master of making excuses, dude. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I've made so many excuses, so many lies just to get out of awkward situations to the point where I can't even keep my lies straight. Like, straight up, I've made so many fucking lies because of this shit, I can't even keep it straight.
Same here, bro.
Like, I mean, you become the master of mind of just, you know, getting out of. I'm not too sure about most people with TMAU, but like even before this whole shit, I was pretty I was pretty witty. I was pretty quick on my feet. In order when it comes to like, you know, getting out of school, let's say I skipped school, you know, I got a good excuse, you know what I mean? So when it came to this, I mean, I pretty much had to amplify everything. You know, if I skip school, I skip school with a reason. I gave you a damn good reason. I looked you in your eye. I told you each and every single goddamn thing. You know, oh, sorry. You know, back when I was in set design, I spilled some paint. When I spilled some paint, the teacher started yelling at me. He was having a bad day because it was the day before the play, and I could have really messed up the set. And, you know, I just damn near became a friggin' pathological liar just to get out of awkward situations. Like, you know, why did you skip school? Oh, well, you know, I skipped school because, you know, I had this kind of embarrassing thing. No, I'm not going to tell them that. Are you kidding me? I'm just going to lie to they ass. Just like I lie to damn near everybody just to get out of friggin' awkward conversations because you don't want to tell each and every single person why you're doing the things you're doing in life. Because, man, people ask me, why are you going through that ridiculous diet? And it's like, dude, the only reason why I'm going through this shit is because, like, this shit lessens the symptoms for me. Like, no human being should be going through this. Should be, waking up 7 o'clock in the morning just to go to the freaking grocery store, spending so much money on produce and all this stuff, and coming home and just eating this and eating that. It's like the amount of money some people spent on supplements just to get this shit down is ridiculous. Like, I know some people, even rich people, who even they're sick of spending so much money. Like, I met this one guy. He's doing he's a like biochem or whatever, doing something in biochem, and he says he spends like anywhere from like 100,000, no, not 100,000, 1,000 to $2,000 on supplements a month, and it's like it's noticeable for him, but it's not like too noticeable for him. So I mean,
did you ever drink the vinegar?
I tried that and it made it. Everybody's different. That's what I've noticed with this whole thing. Like, everybody's different. Like, what can work for someone won't work for another person. So like I tried it. I tried the whole vinegar thing and it didn't work for me. It made it worse. Yet I've known some other people who they tried the whole vinegar thing and it's severely reduced their symptoms. So there's this one girl in the whole community. Her name is like Nia Sims. She came out with a video saying that this supplement called resveratrol or resveratrol, whatever it's called, pretty much what it is, it's the extract of, it's like an enzyme or like something, not an enzyme, some sort of vitamin or whatever that comes from grape seeds. Like, like when you eat a grape and like the seeds or whatever, apparently the skin of the seed carries resveratrol or resveratrol. And pretty much a lot of people in the community have been using that. And some people have said that it really works for them. It makes them go from, like, on a scale of 1 to 10 on how bad someone can sense it, it makes them go from like a 10, like a 0, like no reactions at all. And other people are the exact opposite. Work at all. For some people, it does work. So it's really just a trial and error. And as you're going through that trial and error, you're spending thousands of dollars on these supplements because these things are not cheap at all.
Yeah.
Especially depending on where you live.
When I had to mix, like, it was disgusting. It was like I had to mix ginger with vinegar and lemon juice or something like that. And that was the grossest shit I've ever drank in my life.
I don't
think it helped. I don't think it helped me at all.
Bro, I've drank worse, dog. I've drank like fucking. I remember this is before I was doing the whole TMAU. Before I looked up TMAU more extensively, I just all I knew was that onions and garlic, all that stuff, like they helped rid your body of toxins and stuff. So all I knew was that, or at least all I thought was that, I have toxins in my body and I just need to clear all that out and then everything will be good and all set. So I think I mixed like I think I blended. I like had some either like some apple juice or whatever, or just like something that I like, just so that the taste wouldn't be completely terrible. Juice, just to get the example over with. I had like a apple juice, vinegar, garlic, apple cider vinegar, and then like activated charcoal. All of that, just blended it all down, and drank the shit. Tasted horrible. I don't know how I downed it, but I fucking did. And yeah, it didn't really do anything, to be honest. I didn't really notice any use or anything like that. People even try crazier stuff. I know some people have been they try and go through surgeries, and the surgeries just don't work. Like they'll spend thousands of dollars on surgeries, thousands of dollars on supplements, trial and error, and nothing works for them, which sucks because you're spending so much money and you're not getting any results.
Yeah, I spent quite a bit myself. As you said, the activated charcoal, the lemon juice, the organic vinegar, the ginger root. I think that was a remedy too.
Yeah.
I was buying gallons of water.
Oh yeah, the detox and all that.
Yeah, the what you call it, the and then I experimented with some other things. I at the gym I went to, I was going in the hot tub. I was hoping like the chlorine would like kill anything that's on me, and that would work for a little bit. That would quell the symptoms for a little bit. But as soon as you start sweating again,
yeah, it gets worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed whenever I would go into like not a hot tub, like just like a hot bath with mint essential oil. I would like pour mint essential oil. I would also pour white vinegar and baking soda. If you mix all that, and obviously you have to differ the ratios because mint essential oil can be very strong. You have to like differ the ratios so that not everything can be too strong, not everything. You want to have a good mix. So pretty much you pour that into the hot bath. You have to make sure it's like really hot or else, you're not going to see any benefits. And then you just sit in the tub for about like, 30 minutes, but like 10 to 20 minutes, whatever. And I saw results, but the reason why I don't do it often, in fact, the reason why I don't do it again is because first of all, you have to spend so much money on all that money. It really only worked for like 30 minutes. So like, I feel as though it's not really worth it, to spend, I don't know, 14, 15, 16 bucks on all those ingredients. Cause like you have to fill the tub. You have to fill the tub so that the vinegar can spread, the baking soda can spread, and you don't need to use too much mint essential oil. Cause like I said, it's pretty potent. But like after I used all that stuff, I spent so much money, and I was only, the symptoms went away for about 30 minutes. But I mean, money and all that time, it's really not worth it. So I mean, I would encourage anybody else to try it because like I said, everyone's different. So see if it works for you. If it works more than 30 minutes, then hey, keep doing it. But if it doesn't, then maybe it's not really worth it, in my opinion, at least. I mean, I understand this shit is horrible, but 30 minutes out of the entire 24 hours a day, it's really not worth the time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Something else I did, I bought those really big industrial sized bottles of antibacterial hand soap, the orange ones.
Yeah.
And I make sure it's antibacterial. I would shower with that. And again, temporarily, you would smell a lot better. And I think it has to do with it's killing the bacteria that's making that smell. So
TMA.
that's what, TMA. So it temporarily kills it, but once you start sweating, it'll come back. But at least you'll have a little bit of time to maybe go to the store or something, because it'll overpower the smell for a little bit. And you'll smell like hand soap, but at least you won't smell like fish or whatever.
Yeah, no, because I think that out of all the things, I think that would be like the worst. I would say like, because everyone also says that it's kind of different for them. Like some people will say like, they'll give off like an ammonia kind of thing, or either I've heard like a fish, ammonia, fecal, what else? Yeah, no, they're a whole, I mean, fish, ammonia, fecal, gasoline, burning, like some sort of charcoal burning kind of thing. Which out of all those, I would think that fish and fecal are probably the worst.
Yeah, the two common ones, at least the most common from what I've seen.
Oh,
yeah, I'd rather smell like friggin' hickory. I'd rather friggin' smell like hickory smoke than fucking anything else, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
With gasoline, you can at least say, "Yeah, I just worked on my car."
Yeah, I was about to say like, there's something called hyperhidrosis where like your sweat stains become like obvious, like extremely like you can like your whole friggin' thing will be damp. And to be honest, I'd rather have that than friggin' be dealing with this, because like with hyperhidrosis, you can just be like, oh yeah, just came back from the gym. Like, let's say you're going to class and people are looking at you, staring at you weird in class. Let's say someone asks you like, damn man, like you got a problem or whatever. You can just be like, oh yeah, man, just came back from the gym. I got a busy schedule. I have to go to the gym before I come to class. You can play it off, but with this shit, like, it's kind of hard to play off,
Mm-hmm.
You can't really, I don't know. It's not necessarily something that you can just be like, oh man, yeah, man, I just, I was late today this morning. I had no time, so I just kind of got in the car and kind of came to work. You can't say that each and every single day of work, because people are going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, can he get up a little bit earlier? It's not easy coming up with excuses.
For the temporary people, though, something that worked wonders for me, like the next day I had virtually no symptoms. And this isn't the healthiest option, but it worked for me. I got the highest percentage vodka I could find. And I think that flushed out my system really well. I got some Everclear. I don't recommend everybody get Everclear, because that's some hard shit. But that the next day I virtually had no symptoms.
I don't think that'll work for me personally, because I've drank moonshine before, and I'm still
okay.
Same, so.
And that's really high percentage alcohol.
Yeah.
But as I said, if it's a temporary thing, like if it's it's not something you're living with, I would recommend that to anybody who was going through what I went through.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't think anyone really knows if it's temporary or not. I mean, I thought it was temporary.
Oh yeah, same.
I thought it was just something that was just gonna come and go, and then now 4 years later, and I'm still here. So
I remember doctors back, because like I got it pretty early on. I know some people are born with it, and that's extremely early, obviously. But I got it at the age of how old are you when you're in 7th grade? Like 13 or whatever. So I got it at the age of 13.
12, 13.
Yeah, like 12, 13. I got it that age. And so like I was asking the doctor, is this gonna go away anytime soon? He's like, I'm not too sure how soon, but I know by the time you turn 18, it'll definitely go away. Well, I'm 19 now, so yeah, I know, little bastard, fucking lied right through his fucking teeth.
Shit.
Because I'm 19 now. I'm gonna be 20 in about not a few months. April's a few ways away, but yeah, I'm 19 now, and it ain't gone nowhere. So
you guys
still here, motherfucker. Oh man,
I'm 28.
Shit,
I just turned 28 in October.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, in October, shit, it just passed. Shit.
Well, happy late birthday, man.
We would have sang happy birthday.
No, I appreciate it.
We would have sang happy birthday if he was on the podcast.
Oh, please don't.
Shit. I was about to say, I have a feeling sooner or later, because like I'm 19 and 19 just came out of nowhere. So I have a feeling sooner or later I'm gonna have people not wanting to celebrate my birthday, because I kind of want to go through that stage of like people reminding you that you're getting older. So yeah, and I'm only 19. Like I said, 19 came out of nowhere, dude. Just yesterday I felt like I was 15 or some shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's after like 21, there's really no birthdays you look forward to anymore.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. 20. I feel as though 21 is like the cutoff peak for a whole lot of things in life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For real, man. Like, people think, oh, when I'm 21, I'm probably gonna be able to drink legally, blah blah blah. Like, I was drinking a lot when I was like 17, 18, and then when 21 came, I was like, who gives a fuck? Like, I can just buy it legally now. Like, there was really no hype for me. Like, 21 was whatever, I guess.
I was about to say, like, you get older, you start like you go through like a time where you think to yourself, oh, it's gonna be so cool to do this, and yeah, it can be cool to become 16 and drive, but like you have to realize, when you're driving, there's a whole lot of shit that can go wrong. Not only that, but you have to pay for loans, you have to pay for bills, and I've been saying it all the time. Like, I can't wait to graduate from college, but that's not really because I'm looking forward to student loans and bills and all that. That's because of this whole TMAU shit. Like, if I didn't have TMAU, if I didn't have TMAU, I think I'd really enjoy college. But because of this shit, I kind of want to get out of it as soon as possible and just be on my merry way. Just do what I want to do in life, not have to be with these fucking idiots. And yeah,
I think you would enjoy it, dude, because I had or I was basically in college or whatever you want to call it before I got this, or I was there for like, you know, like 6 months, and 3 months I didn't have it, and the next I got it after 3 months. So I enjoyed college. It was super fun, or college for me. College, it was hella fun though. So I honestly think you would actually like college without
I
TMAU.
think I would too, because like I'm not gonna say there are some things I like about college, but there's, I mean, the freedom that you get is awesome. You know, I mean,
Parties.
really, 'cause, like, I think, yeah, no, I think I'd be. I'm not. I'm like I've said on another podcast. I'm not trying to big myself up, but like I'm. I was pretty social before this, so I think I'd be going to like a lot of parties and stuff. But
Getting turned up. No, I'm joking.
I think I used to be. I think I said on a few podcasts before. Like I used to be the fucking king of the cool clique. Like we would fucking, damn, dude, we would fucking skip school. We would come back to school. We would like friggin'. There would be times where we would skip school. We would go out like paintballing and shit. We would be like freaking playing basketball, airsoft, and then come back to school. The teachers didn't even know we were gone. Fuck. Man, I remember elementary school and shit. That shit was awesome. I was a fucking leader of the cool clique. Shit.
Damn, I didn't start digital school till I was like in high school, so you were definitely cooler than me in elementary school.
No, shit, I was ditching school like a motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Shit.
She was crazy.
I was a chubby black version of Malcolm in the Middle, because I was like really ahead of my age group.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yo, man, shit. Yo, TJ, I have a feeling you skipped, like, how, obviously you said you skipped school later, but like, I have a feeling you skipped school like a motherfucker, though.
Well, in high school, I was kind of a fucking. I thought I was a shit, so I don't know. Dude, I wouldn't skip school, honestly. I skipped school a couple times, but not a lot. Like, I like going to high school, you know? So, I mean, just because, like, I had a bunch of friends and shit. So, I like going to high
Yeah.
school. So, I only ditched, like, a handful of times. And the one time I ditched, I fucking got caught. Or, no,
Damn.
one of the times I ditched, I got caught. So, I didn't see the point in trying to get. I got caught by my dad. So, yeah, it wasn't fun.
I did school a shit ton of times, but I only got caught once. And that one time, like, I was going, I think I already told the story, but like, I think I just like went to get a sub or something. I'm not too sure if I turned into a vegan or not at the time, but I think I just went to like Subway just to, cause the library, I think I was gonna go to the library to like, get like a video game, because like the library would rent out video games or whatever. And so the library wasn't open, so I just went to the Subway or wherever I went to, convenience store, got whatever, and then I came out. Then all of a sudden, like a white van, and like, you know, a white van pulling up to you, it's just kind of, you know, just kind of weird. And next thing I know, the guy rolls down the window, and it's the fucking dean of students of my school, and he looks at me, he's like, get in the car. This dude looked at me while he rolled down the window. He said, get in the car. I'm like, oh shit, like this dude tracking on the fucking streets, dog. This dude motherfucking freaking hardcore tracking students on the street, skipping shit. But yeah, I had to get
I
in
don't
this
think
car.
that's allowed. I don't think they're allowed to do that, honestly. I don't think.
I don't, dude. I was just fucking scared because like I didn't think,
He was determined as fuck to pick you up. Shit.
dude. This dude was looking for me on the streets. I was like, holy shit. But like anyway, yeah, no, he came, he got me. He was like, get in the car. I was like, oh shit. You know, he called my mom and all that stuff. My mom was pissed. I got home, got my ass whooped, and shit. My dad didn't find out about it. My mom didn't want to tell my dad because my mom knew that if she told my dad, then I probably wouldn't be able. My dad would have beaten the shit out of me, dude.
You wouldn't be here today, in other words.
I would not be here today. I would be 7 feet under instead.
Yeah, same, dude.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, dude, my dad would have beaten the shit out of me if he had found out about that. God have mercy.
Yeah, all the serious shit I got in trouble for, I was never able to sneak past my dad. Like, he always knew if I fucked up. And, like, I really fucked up one time. Like that.
And he found out about it?
Dude, I had no choice. I was fucking, and this was when I had TMAU. I just got back from vacation, or I got home, you know, from college or whatever. You know, back to my hometown for like 2 weeks. So I was just partying hard with my friends and shit. I was drunk driving, and I fucking totaled my car.
Damn.
And you know, there's no way to not.
Yeah,
tell
no, you can't hide that shit.
Yeah, there's no way to hide that shit. So I was pretty much fucked him. Yeah, he wasn't very happy.
Yeah. I remember the first. I mean, I told this. This was the very first thing I said on the podcast number 6. I told the story about how I went home last week, and it was the first time I had driven by myself. Because like I was, doing obviously license, learning how to drive and shit like that. I was learning to drive, and then so for the very first time, and I got into my very first accident. And even though it was my very first accident, the guy, it was his fault. And so like that's pretty much why he just was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Like literally, I didn't even get out of the car. No, like what happened was there was these
Yeah, I
police
didn't hear this,
cars.
so I want to know. I didn't hear any of this. So.
Oh shit, dude, there was these like 2 police cars, and the 2 police cars were apparently an accident happened or whatever because the police they were they were cutting off the section, so I couldn't go straight. And so like there were these 2 lanes, right? One lane here, one lane here. And so I was in this lane right here. It's like I was just trying to I was trying to make a right so that I can like buy, because like I was trying to get here. I was in this lane, but I switched over to this lane because I couldn't go over there. So I went over here so I can make a right and just bypass all the police cars and all the bullshit, just so I can get home faster. And like as I'm trying to go here, a motorcycle, he's splitting the lanes. Like there's a car here, here am I. Here's a random motherfucking car, and here's this fucking lane splitter. And for anybody who doesn't know, in the state of Massachusetts, you're not allowed to lane split a motorcycle. Motorcycles are not allowed to lane split under any, well, not under any circumstances, but they're not allowed to lane split in the state of Massachusetts. So he lane splits. I'm trying to go here. I'm looking this way, okay? I'm looking that way. The lane splitter is coming from over here in my blind spot. And even if I was looking that way, I wouldn't be able to see him because, like I said, he's in my blind spot. It's like he comes from here as I'm going here. He's trying to take a right. I'm trying to take a right. So I bump into him. He hobbles on the fucking bike and shit. He's like, oh shit. And then he regains his shit, whatever. And like the police see this. Like the police turn around and they're like, what the fuck is going on here? So they're looking at both of us, and like I can tell they're pissed off because like they're already at the scene of an accident already. They're already at the scene of an accident. They already got another one. Literally, the police are just fucking looking at us. The biker, he's looking back at me. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why didn't you take your fucking blind spot? And I'm like, dude, you're fucking illegally lane splitting. And so he's just like, fucking whatever. He takes the right. So I take a right, thinking to myself, okay, he's going to pull over. So like I follow him over. And so like he pulls over, I pull over. But I didn't realize the reason why he pulled over was because there was a police car coming. So like once he sees the police car, he pulled over for the police car. I pull over the police car. Police car passes us. Once the police car passes us, he drives off. Like he revs off with his motorcycle. And so I'm following him. I'm like, am I gonna stop? Are we gonna do anything? And like I could tell, like it wasn't a huge bump, but it was obviously it was enough for him to like hobble on the motorcycle, almost to the point where he fell off. But there was no damage to my car, even though I didn't get out and check. I could tell because like I could tell that there was no damage to my car, even though I didn't get out. And it's like he looked back at me. He's like, "Why are you still following me? Why the fuck are you still following me? Like what? You want to get out? You want to go? Like what the fuck?" And so I'm just like, "No, if you want to leave, then go ahead." And so like he's like, "You good? You good?" I'm like, "Shit, bro, I'm good. You're the dumbass here who caused this accident. But if you want to go ahead and leave, I'm good. If you want to go ahead, shit." And yeah, I pretty much got into my first accident. The very first time I drove by myself, and yet I kind of got away with it, even though it wasn't my fault. And my dad don't know shit about it too. My dad don't know shit about it too.
Does he know about your
Ain't
channel?
nobody better tell him about it. Hell no, shit. He ain't gonna know shit. I ain't telling my dad shit about this.
Okay.
And another thing, it's actually kind of funny that you said that because this is something that we didn't touch. This is something that we didn't touch about the entire podcast. And I'm not too sure if you, when you were going through it, I'm not too sure if you told your parents about it or your family members about it. But the thing with TMAU is that for whatever reason, I don't understand at all. But when you approach a family member with it, I think it's because they're embarrassed, I think. But when you approach them about it, they don't really acknowledge it. They just kind of like, oh no, I don't sense anything. When in reality, like
Exactly.
you can tell that they can sense it. Like you can
Mhm.
tell, like, their eyeballs will flare up, or like, they'll start scratching
They'll
their
breathe through their
nose, or
fucking
just,
mouth, like like everyone
yeah, like you
does.
can tell that they can sense it, and yet they'll just kind of write you off as though you're insane, and like, because like those are your parents, those are your brothers, those are your sisters, and you're going to them because, like you said, you're in a constant state of paranoia because of it, and you're looking for some solace in your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. And when you go to them, they just, when you kind of seek solace in them, they kind of just brush you off as though you're a nobody, or brush you off as though you're crazy, even though they know damn well, like, you're going through this. This is something that's killing you on the inside. It's ruining your life socially, physically, mentally, and
Changes
yet
you.
they just, yeah, it changes you. It traumatizes you as a human being. And yet,
Yeah.
they just, when you go to them and you tell them, hey, this is something that I'm dealing with, no one wants to talk to me. I'm having a really hard time with it at work. People are harassing me. People are doing this. People are doing that. They just kind of look at you and they're just like, I don't know what's going on with you. And they just kind of brush you off, and it's kind of weird, which is kind of the reason why I never told my parents about this. And I don't think I will either. I really don't see the point of it. I mean, I'm 19 years old. It's not like I'm 18. If I was under 18, even if I was under 18, I don't think I would tell them about it, because I don't know. I'm a grown ass
Yeah.
man, so fuck it.
Like I think, because like and I've said this before on the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think they just don't want to put it in your head that there's a problem with you. Because I've talked to my parents before about it, and they told me, it's not, it's just nothing there. It's in your head, blah blah blah. So, and I know they know because I've heard them talk about it behind closed doors many times. So I think they just don't want to put it in my head, and like, I don't know. I guess make me worse than what I actually am, but I really can't get much worse. But I don't know. Like, me personally, I'd rather have someone just be straight up with me, or at least my parents or my family. Because I talked to all my family about it. Like, I'd rather have them be straight up with me and say, "Hey, you have this problem," or "Hey, I noticed something about you." Blah blah blah. What is it? Something, instead of just acting like nothing's wrong. So, but that's just me.
I told my family, and my mom is just like me. Like, whenever there's something wrong, we just get to researching. Like, we get to looking up, hey, can we solve this problem? What's causing it? Is there a medicine you can take for it? I trust my family. And me and my family were really tight like that. Like, because we've all had issues. My dad had mental issues because he was in the military himself, being deployed and stuff. And, my mom went through some heart problems. So, I mean, mom's asking him for help, especially with something as weird as this. And it was something I couldn't tackle on my own. Like, I didn't know where to even start. Drop my mic.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah, I mean, and obviously for everyone, that's going to be a different story. Everyone's parents are different. Some parents would be ashamed. Some would be indifferent. Some would act like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Everyone's going to be different. But I'm fortunate enough. Both my parents are very understanding, and they'll do everything they can to help me.
That's awesome.
So.
That's what's up right there. Not everyone has that.
I'm truly fortunate.
Let me just fix my audio real quick. I'm hearing a little echo.
Did you guys see the comments? They were talking about booty juice or what the fuck? I don't know. Someone said booty juice or something like that.
I'm mocking them.
I think George said booty juice, and then I don't know.
Yo, George, Anya, Leslie, y'all want to come on? Y'all can come on.
YouTube is cancer. Absolute cancer.
LMAO.
It's basically 4chan videos.
4chan is awful, dude. I had a friend who he loved 4chan, not because of the bad stuff, but because of gaming and stuff. Obviously 4chan can be very useful for gaming and stuff. Find out which games are good. If you're stuck on a level, how to how to use the best tactics to get through. And he loved 4chan, but like I saw, cause like I would use his app, and I saw some of the stupidest shit, some of the most, like you said, some of the most racist shit, some of the most just ignorant shit on 4chan. It's just like, it's one of those things that you just sit there and you think to yourself, like, what the fuck?
People literally have no lives, and they spend all day on the computer just saying mean stuff to people because they have nothing else going on for them. Like,
I just don't
it's
understand
sad.
that shit. It really is sad shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't use it. I just lurk. I just lurk for the comments. Because sometimes it's funny.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes the shit that people say is just fucking, even though it's sad, it's kind of funny, like you said. Shit. You have to laugh at them. Fuck 'em.
Oh,
Did anyone hear about that church shooting? I think it was in
Oh,
Texas.
yeah. Oh, in Texas.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
It seems
man.
like there's a
man.
new fucking shooting every, like, 3 days, dude. Like, seriously.
For real, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yo, all these freaking...
first the New York shooting, and then Texas.
Oh, no, it was like it wasn't a shooting. It was like some guy ran a truck into... like, I don't
Gavin
know.
was actually there, man. Gavin was there when it happened.
Well, like, he was actually...
Gavin, right?
Oh, no, he doesn't know Gavin, because, like, I don't... Have you seen the previous podcast, though?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, so he doesn't... Oh, yeah, and
well,
Gavin hasn't been on the podcast either, but...
Well, Gavin, he lives in Manhattan, and it was in Manhattan. I guess it was like 10 blocks or something away from where he was at. So, yeah, he was basically
Jesus
there.
Christ. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. So.
That's like... It was a former airman, which was disturbing to me. Discharged.
Oh yeah, he was discharged. Yeah.
And this was outside of San Antonio, where I went to basic training. So I was kind of disturbed. I was kind of like, why is this happening? Like, why is this happening like so close to where I went to basic? And why is another airman doing this shit? I think he killed 26 people.
Holy,
and they're
actually like babies and all, babies, children, women, men. He didn't care.
It's fucked up.
And they're actually going to knock down the church because they don't believe it's holy anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they're demolishing the church. That's confirmed. I actually read that the other day. It's truly sad because those people, they went there to worship, do whatever it is they were doing, and they felt safe. And
yeah, inside their own home. Shit.
Mm-hmm. And then, unfortunately, this guy had some issues. It was like some domestic issues with his ex-girlfriend or something, and he decided to take it out on her family and friends.
Jesus, man, we had. Oh man, I mean, some people always like. Man, I just can't understand that whole like revenge thing. Like, you want to get revenge on people. Like, if you want to get revenge on someone, like, you get it on that specific someone. You don't get it on their family. You don't get it on their freaking, you don't shoot up a freaking school. Like, you don't shoot up a freaking church. That's just crazy, dude. I just can't understand that.
I don't know. At all. What I hate is when the news tries to politicize it. Like as soon as it happened, they were saying, "Oh yeah, he's ISIS. He's fucking
oh yeah,
Antifa, fucking communist." I'm like, we don't even know who this guy is yet. Chill.
Don't even know the fucking guy. And wasn't he white too? Like no affiliation to ISIS, or like, wasn't he just white?
He was mad at his girlfriend, and he wanted to cause hell because I guess she was ignoring him or something.
Jesus Christ.
It had nothing to do with politics.
Out of all the worst reasons to like friggin' shoot anything up, like she was, oh Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And the fucking, what's it called? The guy in New Vegas, what the fuck? Las Vegas was even worse. Cause like that guy he virtually didn't even have a fucking reason. Like he pretty much didn't even have, like most of the shooters, they, it's because, they were bullied in school or, they were bullied in school and, they never really got over it. And so, like, they just, as the years went by, they just got worse and worse and worse and whatever. But the Las Vegas guy virtually didn't have a single reason. He was rich. He was happy. He was, I mean, yeah, his dad was a bank robber. and you can make the assumption that because his dad was a bank robber, maybe he had some sort of tendencies or whatever. But I mean, that guy had virtually no reason to do it, and yet he fucking just did it. Fucking the worst massacre in the modern. I think they said it was the whole Las
The
Vegas was
biggest in American.
the
Well,
biggest massacre in modern American history. Yeah,
besides 9/11, but yeah.
yeah. Besides 9/11.
I don't know. There's so much questions to be asked about that. I don't even want to touch that subject because I won't shut up.
Yeah, I think the Las Vegas one was even. I mean, they're all terrible, obviously, but the
You
Las
almost said New
Vegas one was
Vegas
the
again.
worst. Just fucking that guy was just fucking just. I think what was it like 499 injured, and then like what 50 killed, something like. I forget the
52 kills, I think. 56.
That's insane.
Sure. Yeah.
That's fucking insane, dude.
And we'll never know. We'll never know what his motive was because he's dead, and he didn't really leave any clues behind. There was
no clues at all.
We don't know if
like
he was
no
paid
past
by
history.
somebody.
The only thing you can draw from is like the fact that his dad was a bank robber and the fact that he drank a lot. But I mean, there's a lot of people whose dads were in crime and they drank a lot, but they may commit crime, but they don't go to that extent to the point where they kill to the point where they commit a fucking massacre. So, yeah, like you said, there's nothing to really go on, really.
My thing is, what we can take away from all of this is mental health is a huge problem in this country.
Yeah.
That's something that definitely needs to be addressed. There's a lot of people in this world that don't get the help they need.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when these things aren't addressed, these kind of things happen. There's a person, I don't know if you remember him, Elliot Rodger. He was the guy in, I want to say it was San Bernardino.
Yeah. He was the guy who like women didn't like him, so he like shot up the school, right?
Mm-hmm. He had a YouTube channel too, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I feel like all of that could have been avoided if he had
definitely
help. Clearly there was a problem and it wasn't being addressed, and he took matters into his own hands.
I didn't hear about that one. I know there was another one in San Bernardino where they, like, 4 people barricaded a bunch of people, held people hostage inside of like a workplace, and just killed like 15 people.
Yeah, San Bernardino has had like 2, not mass shootings, but like 2 pretty infamous shootings, which is really
dude, that's like 30 minutes from my hometown, so it's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, South Central. That's
crazy.
No.
South Central is in LA. I was born in LA, but I lived in Banning. And Banning and SB is like an hour from LA, so it's not necessarily LA or South Central. It's just it's part of the Inland Empire area, so it's just Riverside County, I guess. But yeah, San Bernardino, Banning, and like Moreno Valley, all that shit over there next to LA is just fucking horrible. So yeah, and it's crazy because one of the teachers who were in the or one of the people who got killed in the execution in San Bernardino was actually one of my teachers in middle school. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Actually, my hometown is Orlando, Florida, where the Pulse shooting happened. That was actually about 20 minutes from my house.
Damn.
Where the 50 people were killed in that gay club.
That was the worst shooting. I remember that.
That was the worst shooting up until the Las Vegas one.
Las Vegas, yeah.
And actually, a gym that I went to was literally 2 blocks down from it.
Wow.
That I frequented, so it hit close to home. And I was watching the news, and I saw like all of the like buildings and restaurants that I used to eat at, and the grocery stores I used to go to, and they were just showing that the footage around that area. I'm like, wow, that's an area I used to drive around.
Jesus Christ. That's fucking insane, dude. Fucking. I was about to give another. Oh yeah, I was talking to one of my friends over here in the university. She's from Connecticut, and she was in Connecticut. She wasn't near Sandy Hook, but she was in Connecticut when the whole Sandy Hook thing happened, which was I'm not gonna say that was pretty. That was like that was when like the worst, because they're all bad, but that was one of the worst shootings because the guy went to a fucking kindergarten
Elementary
school,
or something like that.
elementary kindergarten school. Like, he shot up fucking children. Pretty much nothing but children and teachers, which is fucking, out of all of them, that's probably the worst, one of the worst. Um, but yeah, like I remember how she talked about how she went to some of the funerals of the children. How even though she didn't know the children, like she still went to the funerals because a lot of kids at their school, or because she was in like high school or whatever at the time it was happening. She went to the funerals of the teachers, even though she didn't know them. I think her school, the street that her school was on, they named the street after like one of the children. They named a lot of streets after the children, the victims, and just it's a whole mess, really. Because like I know a lot of people who are from CT, Connecticut, that tell me stories about Sandy Hook because I'm going to school in Western Mass. Western Mass is right above Connecticut, and they all come to my school because it's cheap and we give in-state tuition to them. But yeah, they tell a lot of stories about Sandy Hook over here where I go to school, and it's fucking insane to think that people who were in that area when it was going down. I mean, they were just studying, doing tests and whatever. Next thing they go back home and they hear about Sandy Hook, which is just like 20 minutes away from their house, which is crazy.
And that's like the most vulnerable like demographic is fucking elementary school kids.
Yeah, children. Friggin' children who don't even know their left from their right, for God's sakes.
Yeah, innocent kids, man.
And when you put yourself in that place, when you thought you were when you were in elementary school, and you think about, hey, I'm safe here, nothing's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, you're just with your friends playing basketball.
Yeah, you would have never expect to get shot up,
So that's the last thing you expect when you're Jesus.
You don't even
Christ.
think that happens at that time, like.
Yeah, no, when you're that young, you don't even think about that kind of stuff. I mean, you may hear about it on the news, but you don't think about it in depth as much as your parents or your brother or your older brothers. But Jesus Christ, that's unfathomable. That's happening like so young. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's sick.
And then as soon as these things happen, they try to tout the whole we need gun control, we need, the whole and the debate starts over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, and I'm of the opinion, there's no amount of laws that can prevent stuff like that from happening. You can if there's tons of ways to skin a cat, you can literally hurt somebody with a knife. You don't need a gun. Now you might be able to, only kill like a few people, but if you want to kill somebody and you have it on your mind and you have that element of surprise, you can do a lot of damage. So I don't think more laws are going to help anything. I just don't think that's going to do it. Like I said, I think we need to address the mental health in this country. I mean, I think that's the key. If we can get people the help they need, we can definitely reduce a lot of this stuff from happening.
Definitely. I don't know if you guys watch the Joe Rogan podcast, but Joe Rogan actually had a person on. Let me try and find his name so that anyone watching the podcast can watch the podcast for themselves. I think his name was like something Cruiser. I'll try and find it right now. But pretty much they were talking about how chronic diseases can actually lead to depression and all that. And the thing about depression is that depression can actually, like when they give you antidepressants, that thing can lead to a whole spew of different like antidepressants. Like on the surface, because so many people have them, they're looked at as oh hey doc, just give me a pill, just give me an antidepressant, I'll be all set. When in reality, like that's
We don't know
probably
what the fuck we're taking.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think antidepressants causes like the guy who was on the podcast, he talked about how he and his colleagues have done extensive research into how antidepressants can cause constipation and how anti-constipation medications can cause, chronic joint pain, how chronic joint pain, and it's all linked. Like this causes this causes this causes this. Next thing you know, you're taking 4 or 5 pills. Yeah, I mean, you're already taking antidepressants, which a lot of shooters, a lot of all these shooters and stuff. I think Joe Rogan said on the podcast, the stats for people who commit mass shootings, who take antidepressants and all these narcotics and all that, like almost all of them, not each and every single one of them, but almost all of them are like just on these antidepressants and stuff. And when you're taking antidepressants, that could lead to something else. That could lead to something else. That can lead to something else. I mean, it's just a whole fucking concoction of just bad stuff. And these school shooters, these mall shooters, these airport shooters are all on them shit. Not all of them, but most of them. Like I said, I'm going to try and find the podcast because they go into much more depth than I do.
Yeah, like and a lot of times these doctors, they don't really care if you get better. They want you they give you the medicine just so you'll get the medicine, and then it'll quell your symptoms, maybe numb you out a little bit, but it won't solve the problem. So you'll keep buying it and buying it and buying it. They're not in the business of curing you. They're in the business of making you feel better. And that's what I like to tell a lot of people who take these things. Depression is a complicated issue. You can't just take a pill and let it go away.
I don't understand that. Like, you think a fucking white pill is gonna fucking cure all your problems? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you gotta be. I can't understand how people think like that. Like, you can't take a white pill. Hell, you can't take a fucking rainbow colored pill and get rid of all your damn problems. That shit is not like. I just don't understand that. Like, how can you think that way just by taking a small damn thing, every 8 hours or whatever is gonna cure your problems? I had this one girlfriend who she would take, Latuda, this, that. Like, Latuda is the only thing that I remember, but she had like 7 antidepressants or some shit, and it was like she would take like at least 3 of them in the morning, 2 of them at night. It's just this crazy schedule. She had this whole medicine box. And like it just got to the point where it's like I can't do like she broke up with me, like she actually wanted to get back together, and I was like, no, thank you. Like I'm not dealing with that shit. Like just those antidepressants fucked her up real bad, so bad to the point that she didn't even know about it.
I had professional help when I was younger, when I was about 21, and I've had the experiences with these pills. And I can tell you what, when you're taking them, you don't feel like yourself. You feel numb. You don't feel, all of your emotions that you have are no longer yours. You feel kind of robbed of the way you would normally react to something. You don't react. And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of antidepressants. I think those things are evil. And I'm not saying you should never take them, but what I am saying, because there are people who have more serious issues than I did, but I think if you can do without them, I think you should.
Definitely. Jesus. I mean, Latuda especially. Latuda, whenever she would take her pills of Latuda, her muscles, like she would get severe muscle spasm. Like her muscles would literally shake. Like I'm not just talking like, just like an old woman who like, someone shakes her arm. Like she would shake. Like it was just scary, to be honest. The fact that you don't have control over your own muscles just because of a small white capsule, it's ridiculous. I wouldn't even fuck with that shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times, like, and the doctor that I was seeing, like, I would tell him about, what I was going through, and he didn't even seem like he was listening. He already knew what he was going to give me by the time the session was over. And there was even a time where I said, hey, I saw this commercial for a thing called Abilify. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. We'll give you Abilify too. And that's when I realized this is bullshit. Like, like this is not, he does not make me feel better. He just wants me to buy more stuff. And from your insurance and all that good stuff. So that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going cold turkey. I'm getting off these pills. There was one time I took a thing called Trazodone, which gave me a migraine. I felt like my head was going to pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never take another one of those pills as long as I live. If I can't deal with it on my own, I just can't deal with it on my own. I'll just have to be miserable.
I'd say the same thing because I'm not taking these damn things. I mean, on by the way, for anyone watching the podcast, if you look up Joe Rogan podcast, Chris Kessler, episode 1037. That's Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1037. Chris Kresser, I think his name is. Yeah, Chris Kresser. He wrote a book called um, they talk about like overpopulation in India, and they talk about the pharmaceutical companies, biology, human evolution, archaeology, anthropology, all that kind of stuff. For anybody who doesn't watch the Joe Rogan podcast, I would 100% recommend it. He's not just a UFC, MMA, commentator who's a comedian. He's a lot more than that. He has people on his podcast who, they talk about science, anthropology. I know Leslie's studying anthropology. They had if you look up Joe Rogan podcast, Sebastian Junger, that's Sebastian, then Junger. The guy's an anthropologist. He is really he's really innovative in his thoughts, and he has a lot of good analysis. So I would definitely, like I said, definitely watch the Joe Rogan podcast for anybody who hasn't. The guy really he's probably one of the best podcasters in the entire game. I mean, really, his podcasts are like just fucking, the people who he has on. I mean, comedians, anthropologists, scientists, computer scientists, physicists, engineers, all sorts of people, conspiracy theorists, all sorts of people, politicians. It's awesome. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the Joe Rogan podcast for anybody who's just looking for either a fun time, something to listen to when they're stressed or doing a paper or just at work, or someone who just wants to hear a extremely innovative, coherent podcast. So
I'm sub to him.
definitely, yeah, everybody definitely should be sub to him. He's probably one, like I said, he's the best. I think he is the best podcaster out of all the podcasters I've ever watched. He's definitely my go-to for podcasts and stuff.
It's not better than
But
your podcast, though, man.
oh no, shit.
Your
Joe
shit's the
Rogan can eat
best.
a dick compared to me. Joe Rogan can eat a dick compared to me, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. I'm coming for you, Rogan.
Oh shit!
Fuck him.
There's gonna be a war.
Yo, fuck it. Yo, but ladies and gentlemen, this was the Team Up podcast, not the TMAU Up podcast, the Team Up podcast. And yeah, this was our guest, Mayhem. He's bringing the hurt down, bringing the smack down on you bitches. And yeah, Mayhem, would you be able to stay for the, because like usually what we do is we have a public podcast because just to have people with TMAU come on and just talk whatever. We also have a private podcast because like a lot of people with TMAU, they can be they sometimes they don't want to come onto the public podcast because they're afraid of maybe their coworkers or whoever's seeing it. Which I mean, that's not always the case. Not everybody who's been on the podcast has been found out by their coworkers. I mean, I've actually Googled people who've been on the podcast, and I've never seen them on the podcast. So anyway, would you be able to stay on the private podcast? I know we've been doing this since like I don't know, 8 o'clock or whatever. Okay, yeah. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this live section of the podcast, and I'm gonna try and invite some people onto the private section of the podcast. And when I invite them onto the private section, like I said, it'll be private. It won't be on YouTube. It won't be streamed or anything like that. It's just going to be me, you, the other guests who decide to join on. So pretty much what I'm going to do right now is everybody who's in the comments section, just either email me or, just say that you would like to be on the private podcast. So I'm just going to give it about 5 or so minutes. And yeah, we'll just see who wants to come on.
Sure, man. I'll be around.
All right. I'll just give it 5 or so seconds, see what people. He said, Mayhem, do you play Kingdom Hearts? I know you play games, but do you play Kingdom Hearts or do you play all sorts of stuff?
I did play Kingdom Hearts back when I was in high school. I haven't played all these newer ones that come out that are complicated as hell.
Yeah.
One
Oh,
remix
man.
of the third chapter. I lost interest after that.
I can't say I blame you.
I play mainly I just picked up Wolfenstein. I'm a huge Fallout fan. That's why I kept laughing when he said New Vegas. I thought he was like referencing that. I played Mortal Kombat. I played Street Fighter 4. I'm mostly a fighting game guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fighting games. I like that shit. Fighting.
And
What console do you play on?
PS4.
PS4. Yeah, man. That's the shit right there.
I'll be honest. I just started playing Cuphead on PC. That's my first PC game.
Yeah.
So.
My first PC game was what was it? That friggin', you know that thing with the car? I played it for like a short while, then I forgot. Like, what was it? It's like a car, and it's like pretty much soccer with a car. Shit, what is that game? I think I have it somewhere here, whatever. No, I forget. Like everybody knows what I'm talking about. I just can't remember for whatever reason. I can't remember the name of the game. Like, oh shit, it's like you have like a ball, and then you try and get the ball into the opponent's net. It's like that extremely popular game that I have no shit. I'd have to find it or whatever.
Soccer?
No, like pretty much like you're driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an arcade. Like you're driving a car, but you're trying to get a soccer ball or just a ball in general inside the other opponent's net. I don't know it's a extremely popular game. Like everybody loves it. I just don't know what the name of the damn thing is, or at least I forget.
Does it have an Asian name by any chance?
Oh no, it's American.
Oh, okay.
I think it's American. Oh shit. It's on Steam and shit. Like I forget. I'm gonna have to look at Steam in order to try and remember the name of it because I don't even.
Because there was a game with an Asian name where it was just a ball rolling around, and then things would just stick to it, and it would get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh no, I know that. I've heard of that game and I've seen it. I just don't know the name of that.
That's what I was thinking of.
What is the name of this damn? It's everybody loves this game, dude. Why can't I remember it? Oh shit. I'll look for it. Cause I don't for the life of me I can't remember. I don't know why, but Rocket League. That's what it's called. Rocket League. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why I forgot the name of that game, but yeah, Rocket League is pretty much like yeah, it's pretty much like soccer, pretty much with cars. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Okay, I was thinking of something completely. I was thinking of Katamari.
That's what George said inside the. Oh yeah, by the way, George, you want to come on to the private podcast? Let me text Leslie and she'll come on. Where's Leslie at? And TJ dropped. I'll invite him back onto the private podcast. I don't know if he dropped because of his connection or what.
I think I'm ready.
All right, let me just. Great. So pretty much looks like we're all set with the live version. So I'm just gonna. It's gonna go off the live version, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that was Mayhem. First time on the podcast. Big ups to him. And yeah, I'm gonna stop the live broadcast right now, and then we'll go straight into the private one. All right, peace, people.
Deuces.